there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're going to be discussing more DCU updates. More information has come out about the confirmed Clayface movie, and we have some new information about the dynamic duo, the animated Robin team-up movie as well. So it looks like when it comes to Clayface, we have the production budget for the movie, and we have a release window, but also the same when it comes to the dynamic duo movie. We also have a release window for that movie as well. So there's plenty of information to break down with these two properties here. So let's get into it, and let's see what we can learn about Clayface and the dynamic duo. So this comes to us from comicbookmovie.com. Clayface and Dynamic Duo get official release dates as James Gunn reveals which universe the former is set in. Also, we're going to be talking about that big question that everybody had on their minds once the Clayface movie was confirmed a few days ago. People were then questioning, is it going to be in James Gunn's DCU, which is a bit more of a fantastical take. It has Kryptonians, it has aliens, kind of very fantastical take on DC. But then also we have Matt Reeves' grounded Batman universe, which is very much a crime saga thriller. It's very human, very boots on the ground, very kind of gritty, human-like take on the Batman mythology. There's nothing kind of supernatural about it. So a lot of people were kind of confused as to where this Clayface movie would land. And it looks like we have our answer to that question in this article. So let's get to it, and let's break this down. So, following the reports earlier this week that DC Studios is moving forward with the Clayface movie, I still can't get over it, a Clayface movie. It's just kind of crazy. Like, to see that character in a horror movie would just be all kinds of insane. It's been announced today that it will be released in theaters September 11th, 2026. So it's less than 2 years away, which is kind of cool. But then again, I'm not really sure when I expected this movie to release. I haven't really thought about it, if I'm honest. But September the 11th, 2026, that's less than 2 years away. Factor in, 6 months of marketing building up to the movie as well. So in about a year and a half, roughly, we're probably going to start seeing the marketing ramping up, getting posters, potentially leaked shots from the... from the production, if anyone manages to get images or pictures from the leaks of the production. So in about a year's time, if they're shooting the movie at some point next year, maybe we'll start seeing leaked images, kind of like we did with the Superman set. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But September the 11th, 2026, mark your calendars, guys, if you're interested in the Clayface movie. So, Midnight Mass and Dr. Sleep's Mike Flanagan will pen the screenplay, though no director or star is attached at this time, according to the trades. So yeah, Mike Flanagan's writing the movie. He's got some good working credits, so I'm quite excited to see what he does with this. But he's not directing as far as we know. There's no star and there's no director attached as of yet. So, once they attach a director, depending on who it is, that's going to get me really, really excited for this. But I really hope they get someone with a really good track record who's great at kind of horror movies. Imagine getting like a James Wan or something like that. James Wan, obviously, over at Blumhouse, has made incredible horror movies. Imagine if he was directing it. That would be incredible. So, since the news broke a few days ago, DC Studios co-CEO and Superman director James Gunn has taken to social media to confirm, quote, exciting news out of DC Studios today as Clayface, a DCU story from script by Mike Flanagan, has officially been greenlit. Clayface premieres in 2026. So yes, Clayface will be set in the DCU and not Matt Reeves' Batverse. So take that to the bank, guys. It's going to be set in the DCU, not Matt Reeves' the Batman universe. Obviously, the Batman and the Penguin, and then the upcoming Batman Part 2, all part of that crime saga universe. Very grounded, very human, very gritty, and James Gunn's more of a kind of fantastical Kryptonians, Green Lanterns, Amazonians, kind of more fantastical take on DC properties, kind of sticking more closer to the comics. So Clayface is going to appear in James Gunn's corner of the DC universe. I guess that's what I was trying to say. So, we know the villain will appear in Creature Commandos, but whether that's the same version we'll see in Flanagan's movie remains to be seen. Multiple people have held the Clayface mantle on the page. Yeah, like most characters in comic book mythology, there's a lot of people that hold, like a villain or a hero. There's multiple different characters that take on that villain or hero, and it's no different with Clayface here. There's been multiple different human characters that have held the mantle of the Clayface character. So even though Clayface is appearing in Creature Commandos, we don't know if it's the same Clayface. It could be a different variant of Clayface. We'll have to wait and see. But to me, it would make more sense to have the Creature Commandos Clayface and have this movie Clayface be the same. That would make more sense to me. But then again, I'm not in charge of DC, so who knows? The Hollywood Reporter adds, quote, "The idea is to make a horror movie in the $40 million range." So there we go, guys. We got the budget of the Clayface movie here, $40 million. So they're keeping the budget really, really low. In terms of big Hollywood superhero movies, when we think of like Marvel movies at like $250 million a movie, even more than that because Disney doesn't know how to rein in their budgets, $40 million for a horror Clayface movie is quite a small budget in terms of a superhero type movie. So, you know, they're mitigating their risks when it comes to the financial end of the movie, which is great to see. In another effort to show the diversity of the DC Studio slate, fun fact, Flanagan loves the Clayface episodes from the classic Batman, the animated series. I think a lot of people do. Clayface in the animated series, he was fantastic. A fan favorite for a lot of people. Clayface was a really great character in that animated series. We also learned today that the animated dynamic duo, a story reportedly revolving around Robin's Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. This is an animated movie that was announced a few months back. It's heading our way on June the 30th, 2028. 2028. So nearly 4 years from now. Well, like 3.5 roughly. But why did they announce the movie like 3.5 years ahead of time? That seems kind of strange to me. Yeah, it's a long way in advance to kind of announce a movie. But, you know, it is what it is. It's still exciting to think that we're getting a dynamic duo animated movie. But it's coming out in 2028, so no time soon. So let's hope that people don't forget about it. Let's hope we get regular news updates, because it does sound like something that I think would be pretty cool. So we have the official X post here from James Gunn. Exciting news out of DC official studios today. As Clayface, a DCU story from script by Mike Flanagan, has officially been greenlit. Clayface premieres in 2026. Obviously, we knew that the movie was already greenlit. We just didn't know, in the previous video we didn't know when the release schedule was going to be for the actual movie. We didn't know the production budget. So learning those two things in this video has been quite valuable. So according to Deadline, Flanagan is reportedly conceiving Clayface as a horror thriller tragedy. He won't be painted as a villain, which has been the case with his legend in DC. The character will be a big part of Batman 2. What? Oh yeah, okay, so this is what I said on Deadline, but this has come out to not be true. James Gunn has shut this down. He's not being in Batman 2. He's confirmed to now be in the DCU. So Gunn has had something to say about that too, taking to threads to seemingly debunk claims we'll see Clayface and Scarecrow in the Batman Part 2. Why seemingly? Well, just because he's hasn't read the script yet, it doesn't mean those characters aren't in it. So, James Gunn said this. If I can get my words right, everything DCU said, Clayface and the Scarecrow will be big additions to the Batman Part 2. Clayface will apparently be Matt Hagen, going for a more realistic Darkman vibe. And then James Gunn said, firstly, no. Secondly, couldn't be the case as there hasn't been a first draft of the script. So again, people just making up these kind of crappy DCU rumors. James Gunn has shot this down. There's no Clayface, no Scarecrow confirmed for Batman Part 2. So if you see any news stories anywhere online about Clayface or the Scarecrow appearing in the Batman Part 2, it's just not the case. It's not been confirmed yet. James Gunn has officially shot that down. So if you see it anywhere, let your friends know, let everybody else know. Clayface, Scarecrow, not confirmed as of yet. It could be in the future, but as of yet, those two characters are not confirmed for the Batman Part 2. So, each version of Clayface has different powers in the comics. Basil Karlo originally had no special abilities, but instead wore a horrible clay mask. He'd later use cell samples from the 3rd and 4th iterations to shapeshift his very DNA. Matt Hagen, who many of you will remember from the Batman animated series, can only change his appearance temporarily and must return to a pool of protoplasm to recharge. Preston Payne could melt people with a single touch. Sondra Fuller had the same abilities as Hagen, albeit without the need to charge herself up. And Peter Malley could dissolve others with a look. The villain's main power is, of course, the fact that he can look and sound like anyone. In Flanagan's DCU set movie, we'd imagine him being the mod monster you see above, and if he is in the Batman Part 2, it will likely be the mask-wearing serial killer. Yeah, of course, because it's a very grounded human approach, and there's no supernatural stuff as of yet in the Batman universe. So they would go the more kind of serial killer wearing the mask if he was going to turn up in the Batman universe. Whereas in James Gunn's DCU, he's more likely to be the kind of mod monster that we all know Clayface to be. So, are you excited for the Clayface movie? Yeah, I absolutely am. But guys, this is valuable intel here on this Clayface movie. So we know that it's coming to us September 11th, 2026. There's going to be a $40 million budget range for this movie, which is great. I mean, for a horror movie, you can get CGI in there, keep it cheap. Keep it low, mitigate your risks by having a low budget. You don't need to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to make this movie like Disney do, and then end up, you know, making no money. So it's great that they're only spending 40 million. And then also the dynamic duo is coming to us on June 30th, 2028. So that's a very, very long way off. Like I say, I hope people don't forget about it, and I hope James Gunn gives us regular updates about the production on the dynamic duo. So guys, that's some important information there regarding Clayface and the dynamic duo. Let me know what you think. Jump into the comment section. What stands out to you here as being valuable information? Are you excited about a Clayface, or do you think it's a dumb idea that nobody's going to care about it? Whatever your thoughts are, jump into the comment section and let me know. As always, thanks so much for being here. Be sure to hit that like and become a subscriber of the channel if you haven't already. It goes a long way to supporting the content here, guys, so I really, really appreciate that. And I will see you, as always, in the next video.